What's up, guys? It's the Bad Wolf. Today we're going to be talking about the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. Did you hear that name? Internal. So they're inside of something. Revenue, generating compensation. Service. And really the revenue part should be like recovery or retrieval, recoupment, debt collector. Oh, and last part, service. Well, if it's a service, doesn't that mean it's optional? All right, guys, we're going to be coming for them at the nippers because we're about to show you what they don't want you to know. Once again, shout goes out to Sherry Peel Jackson. You guys should check her out. She's a sister on the same class. She used to work for them. She's over the years told me some things. I've told her some things all about the IRS because nobody knows it all. Sherry Peel Jackson is on her own YouTube channel and various other platforms. Check her out. If you communicate with her, tell her the Bad Wolf sent you. All right. And Sherry, we'll have to get you back on the show, sometime soon because yours was one of the highest rated, and we need to catch up. We also probably need to get Ron Gibson back on here. I just had Brandon Joe Williams on here. What do we have? No, we haven't had them on here, but U.R. Law, TJ from Sovereign Living, I think his name is, or Glenn from Sovereign Living. Shout out to Eternal Zion, and all the other people who support. Also, my jump out girls. I know it's been a while. So we're going to get back onto some lives and anybody else who supports me. All right. So appreciate you guys. Let's get in it. Let's get going. Like I said, this video is about the IRS. We're going to cover a lot of ground. All right. I'm going to give you guys pretty much all the, well, not all the bits. I'm going to give you guys a good chunk of the bits. Some of it's also my private section, the Wolfpack, by joining the Wolfpack on YouTube, hitting the join button. Supporting me monthly gets you access to the videos. But then the next time that you go to my main channel, you will see certain open commentary sections for you. And there'll be a new tab that says members only videos. And then that'll allow you to see all the videos I've made in the private sections, all the behind the scenes things and whatnots. All right. But I'm going to give you guys a huge chunk. Now, the seminars are coming soon, guys. So the seminars have been going off really well in the private. I'm going to make these videos and then you guys will be able to purchase the videos. All right. I'm going to break down certain areas, everything I know about the IRS, everything I know about court, everything I know about why we're successful. All that is going to be in these videos, guys. I'm not going to lie to you, probably the more expensive one, but I'll still keep it like probably under 400, 300 will be the court stuff. All the rest of them will be about $100, $200 for these videos because these are going to have all of everything I know. I'm not going to say that everybody's going to have the exact results because there's still some work, but you guys are going to have like 90 to 95% of all the work you guys need to do. Some people are like, well, why would you do that? Your consultations might dry up. Well, if they do, and they're about the same as a consultation anyway, it is what it is. I can't get to all the people. I'm always booked out at least 2 or 3 weeks as a minimum. So if I make these videos, that probably will lower that a little bit. But some people still want to talk to me. But if the videos can do all the work and I don't need to do a consultation, cool. It is what it is. Then buy the videos, whatever. Either way, it'll balance out. But if you want, like I said, they'll be itemized. One will say court, one will say IRS, one will say how to get out of a contract, like all the things I've learned. And then whatever. You'll be able to get each one of them. You get a link. The link will probably be good for like 30 days, 60 days, or whatever else. And then the link won't work. So obviously you watch it, take notes, for your personal use. They're essentially not for other distribution, but I'm sure some people will figure out a way around that because it's not hard. It is what it is. Like I said, this is how I make my living. And without further ado, let's get going. IRS.gov. All right. So we're starting off with next shots. This is on IRS.gov. This is in their section. This information is found in the publication 501, Dependents, Standard Deductions, and Filing Information. This is what they don't want you to know. All that rah-rah talk about from the certain police officers, certain judges, whatever else. There's no such thing as a national or a state citizen. You know why they're saying that? It's because inside their jurisdiction, there is no such thing as a national. I finally figured it out. A national and a state citizen have no standing inside of their political arena. You are either a U.S. citizen or a non-resident or a foreign national. Oh, also, before I forget, for those who don't know, blacksite32.com now has a secondary free files page. Dun, dun. Ah! Yes, we are loading more. I've hit the capacity on the first page. So download and get those now. Do you guys know we had 400,000 people come through blacksite32.com? I need you guys, if you're hearing this, to go there and sign up for the newsletter. We need to be able to reach as many of those people in a moment's notice. I know I never really had that up as an option, but there's a newsletter option on there. Then that way I can reach out and communicate with you guys in a moment's notice. In case, as they say, stuff hits the fan. Stay informed. Blacksite32, join the newsletter, go to the free doc page, #2. You can also donate there. You can see all my social media and add me there. Make sure it's really me. All right, let's get some more of those neck blows in. So this is the real IRS right here, U.S. national. They recognize a U.S. national. I didn't, man, you know how long it took me to find this page? The government recognizes a U.S. national. I was wondering why I couldn't find anything about a U.S. national being tax exempt. Because a U.S. national is tax exempt. You are then considered a non-resident of the United States. But they do recognize the terminology in their books. I had to put this up before they change it. Once have these places find that I found some of these things, pages like this go missing. I'm sure they just misplaced it somewhere. Here it is. A U.S. national is an individual who, although not a U.S. citizen, owns their allegiance to the United States. Check it out. Watch the hijack. U.S. nationals include, it does not say only. It does not say only these. U.S. nationals include, they're saying so also. See, they expect you to understand that a U.S. national means if you were born here, you are a national. And a U.S. national so defined under Foreign Affairs Manual, section 505.2, passport endorsements, number 909 code, states that a U.S. national is a state citizen, is a national of the United States, is a national. Those are all the same things. They just changed the wording over the years, depending on a better word description or classification. Those are all the same things. And that includes anybody born in the 50 organic, geographical, or in the continental sense, United States of America. So proven by Government Printing Office Manual, section 5.23 of the GPO Styles Manual. It says it includes, meaning the organic, you should know that. But it also includes, so being born in the U.S., because you are a U.S. national. National means native, local, Floridian, New Yorker, Wisconsinite, Californian. That should be common knowledge to you. So that being said, with America Samoa, and Northern Mariana Islanders who choose to become. So right there, I never seen that one before. It says who choose to become. So they have the choice too. So they're just nationals in their land, but they can be looked at as U.S. nationals and be a part of this because they're part of the team. So they can choose, just like we can choose. But instead of being a U.S. citizen, they can be just looked at as a U.S. national. So they really have three things going on there. They are nationals and they're private. They can be looked at as U.S. nationals, and they can be also U.S. citizens. They can choose. So can we. Now let's see what else they have going on. So when you look up foreign persons on the I.R.S. website, non-resident alien, that's a thing. A U.S. person, that's a thing. What? A U.S. citizen, aren't those the same things? Well, they got definitions, which means they are slightly different. A resident alien, that's different. Resident of a U.S. possession, that's different. Foreign corporations, that's different. Foreign private foundations, and then other foreign organizations, associations, charitable institutions, U.S. branches of foreign persons. Additional rules specific to Chapter 4. Did you know all of these things were here? Now, when they start off by saying a payee, they're already talking about a taxpayer, which is a U.S. citizen in general, is subject to withholding. They're saying a payee is if you are a foreign person, includes a non-resident alien individual, foreign corporation. So what they're saying here, and any other person that is not a U.S. person. So these foreign things can be subject to withholding or tax depending on if they make and do taxable events. All of these things can be subject to taxation, but generally they're supposed to be looked at as not. Foreign things in general are not, but you can be foreign and do certain things to make yourself taxable. That's how they always have to talk. They're not going to come out and say straight out, all these things are not taxable, because that's BS. Because anything you do, if you give them something to pierce your privacy, your foreign status, standing, you can be taxable. So they're telling you if you are a U.S. person, you've proved residency, you're taxable. You operate out of the District of Columbia with the zip code, you're taxable. You've got a corporation, a trust. See, here it says any other person that is not foreign. What does that mean here? It means if they didn't mention it here and you're taxable, you're taxable. Or if you make an election to be taxed, you volunteered. So if you're a true foreign person, you are not taxable. Foreign is synonymous with the word private. You're not taxable. A resident alien is an individual, meaning a living person, that is not a citizen or what? National of the United States. Why? Because a national of the United States is not taxable. But you can, as a national of the United States, do taxable things. then that amount has to then be accounted for, which is why you have tax forms where you can file taxes as a non-resident. I'm not a resident of yours, but I did do some taxable things in your jurisdiction. 401k, certain stocks, options, whatever else. Once again, I'm not a tax expert. I do have some information on how to deal with certain scenarios, but not all. And it is not advice. It's just private consultations. Once again, look, here we talk about national of the United States and a U.S. national. You're saying you're a foreign corporation. Great. A foreign corporation is one that does not fit the definition of a domestic corp. Domestic corps made inside the political system, maritime admiralty jurisdiction, are normally taxable because foreign corporations are not. That's why when people get the 98 number, you become not taxable. But if you do any of these things, you can become taxable. So private foundations are not taxable. Unincorporated associations are not taxable. Here, they only talk about this section of these things started at 501. What do they call it? 501c? 501 C3. It's a basic church. But what do we operate as a 508? See, they don't even mention that in here. They don't want you to know about that part of their code because then you got to get the book and read because then you're proving that you're competent. They're always going to show you how you are possibly taxable. They're not going to show you how not to be. They're going to send you a letter, dear taxpayer. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't use that language with me, young man. Tax exempt organization search. Applying for tax exempt status. Exempt individual who is a student. So some students are exempt. Form 8233, exemption from withholding on compensation for independent and certain dependent personal services of a non-resident alien individual. So they're using this to reference you. Exempt individuals, foreign government related individuals. Publication 525, taxable and non-taxable income. So they're telling you right here what is taxable and non-taxable, but when you read through this, they don't tell you, oh, under certain, depending on how you operate with these things, you can be tax exempt. Even child care providers, fringe benefits, business income, all these things can be tax exempt if you know how to do them properly. So you have to go through all of this to find this one book here. See how they do that? Right here. This is how they back talk, because they always got to push their Kool-Aid on you. Employee compensation. In most cases, that means not all. That's how you do it. Nowhere in here am I seeing where they said, here are they tax exempt. How to reduce. Nothing under the word tax or exempt. Okay, so what do they refer to it as? Okay, so non-taxable, we got to search, okay? Only 10 spots in here where they use the word non-taxable. See how they hide it? That is crazy. All right, so let's see what we can find here. They've got 10, and the first 3 are right here in this section, which doesn't cover. So they're basically telling you, if you know how to properly declare your income that is non-taxable, but see, here's the thing. They own the word income. Income means you're for profit. We're not generating income. They use the word revenue. I generated revenue. Or private compensation. Let's keep going though. Wow. So you see how nearly impossible they make it to even find out about that. They bring it back to the same publication we just went through and didn't tell you nothing. Because they got an IRS got their own videos. They're not telling you the whole thing. It's right here in their videos. 501c3, but that means you're still in their jurisdiction. You're asking for permission. So you'd want to go with the 508c1a, FBO, faith-based organization. You can apply for a tax exempt status for your entity. That's it. They do not go deep into it. Once again, we know if we don't see it here, so you're national, you're state citizen, anything foreign or private. Look here. Even says income that is non-taxable may have to be shown on your tax returns, but isn't taxable. So they even want to see how much money you're making that's not supposed to be taxed. Hey, while you're here, you know, yeah. Well, while you're here braiding my hair, for X amount of dollars, and just go ahead and take your shirt off. They just want all of it. Treatment of non-resident aliens. So we know non-resident aliens are generally not taxable, but what do they say here? If you are a non-resident alien engaged in a trade or business, so I'm not involved in a trade or business, you must pay a U.S. tax on the amount of your effectively connected income. Once again, this means for profit. You're operating as a corporation. You're making an election. I am not generating income. your 1040 NR. So if you are operating privately, but you do something that is taxable, this is your form. We know non-residents are not taxable, but what they say, you may need to file Form 1040 NR if you were a non-resident engaged in trade or business in the United States. But see here, they don't have it hyperlinked to say, are you talking about the U.S. corporation under UCC 9-307, the District of Columbia, or is this the organic? Which one are you talking about? Well, we know the taxable place is usually the District of Columbia, but you can elect to do taxable things in the free world. Make that election. So as you see here, they show you very little about how to be tax exempt, other than applying for it for your company or doing it the proper way when you create your own company yourself. So to be tax exempt, an organization, which is usually looked at as you as an individual person or multiple persons, you must be organized and operate exclusively for exempt purposes. It's very basic. Not pay any of its earnings to private shareholders. So once again, here the word that they own is shareholder, and this is of a U.S. corporation. Or to individuals. Because here they don't have the word private. Because if they have the word private or private individuals, then private individuals are tax exempt. But Wolf, it says private shareholders. Yeah, but these private shareholders, the word shareholders means corporation. So how do you do that? Not be an action organization that participates in political. Once again, we keep saying the word political. Why? Because that is in their jurisdiction. It is a subcategory franchise in the Maritime Admiralty jurisdiction of the United States Corporation, gold fringed flag. To apply for a tax exempt status. So up here they said organization, living person they covered. Status, that's of a entity. To apply for a tax exempt status, you need to determine if your organization is one of the following: trust, corporation, association, or etc. Anything like that. Gather your documents, determine your state's registration number, obtain an EIN for your new organization. If you're doing things in the private completely, you're already tax exempt. But if you're going to do things in their area with an EIN, you better get the right EIN. Now, the Social Security number see, once again, stone wall when it comes to who is and who is not exactly. Here's what I was looking for. Tax exempt status means that income is not subject to taxation. When an individual, business, or organization has tax exempt status, they are relieved from paying taxes on some or all of their income. For example, charitable organizations, so your 508c1a, faith-based organization. But here's what I wanted to get to. Non-citizen nationals. This is how they hide it right here. Are protected by the United States Bill of Rights concerning taxation. They are exempt from paying federal income taxes on wealth accrued within the U.S. territory. Non-citizen national means the same thing as non-resident. State citizen, private sector citizen, foreign national, national of the United States, national of the United States of America. There it is. We are protected by the Bill of Rights, but that doesn't mean you can just stop paying taxes. You got to fill out the proper paperwork. You got to revocate that election you made, and then that goes to your IRS or to your HR department. The IRS doesn't really want a copy, but it's not bad to send them one. Here it is. Because nationals, native, are Native Americans. If you're born here, you're Native American. You're not taxable. You're the real person. You're compensated by your labor and wages, not taxable. So yeah, I've been to this website before. They do not have this right. It says, well, you know what? I'll have to go and take a look at the Immigration Nationality Act. Make sure they got the wording right in there too. Or I have my wording right. But currently only those born or with ties to the outlying U.S. possessions. Well, the organic states are possessions, but they include American Samoa and Swain Islands are born as non-citizen United States nationals. But here's the thing. The same applies to those born outside of these possessions. Okay, so what's out of those possessions? Okay, so let's play it from their perspective. So they're saying the outlying possessions of the United States of America are Samoa and the Swain Islands. But it says the same applies for those born outside of these possessions. Well, what's outside of those areas? America, the organic, right? If you're not those two or three islands, what's outside of that? America. The same applies to those born outside of these possessions. And born to one or more non-citizen national parents, those are your parents. They are nationals per the GPO Styles Manual, section 5.23. As long as residency requirement is met. Well, your parents have lived here, so there it is. Boom. But you see how they do the double talk, the back talk? And we already read under 8 U.S.C. 1101-22B that we can choose to be either or. The acceptant agent at the passport Division of the United States Post Office told me this. At the time, it was in not really privacy. I don't know if he was supposed to tell me. That's why they can't trick me. He already told me what this was. That means you are tax exempt. So concerning tax exemption, taxation, non-citizen nationals are exempt unless you make an election. If you're not smart enough to understand what's said here in this non-English language, okay, or non-Webster dictionary language, very legal written, the average person doesn't have the comprehension to understand this. I do. You have to be able to interpret what's going on. You have to be able to translate it. All right, guys, that is it. That is it. I will talk to you guys later. I think we proved our point of some really great fire details there. Badwolf's over now.